In this video, we're going to look at the Lytec 2015 Practice Management System. This version is ICD-9 and ICD-10 compliant and now also supports Windows 10. Let's start off by opening Centertown Offices. This is a demo practice with example patients. Here I'm going to enter the user code and password which I set up when I created this practice. You can set up logins for yourself and other users in your database. Now that we're logged in, for those of you who've used previous versions of Lytec, you'll notice it's now using a new ribbon menu system. The way it works is we have the main menu categories here, and as we click on each of these, the options below will change. The Lists menu is where most of the initial data entry will take place. Here you can enter patients, providers, transaction and diagnosis codes, as well as other items. Let's take a look at patient entry. Here we have a pop-up alert that has been set for this patient. You can create your own custom pop-up messages or alerts. This is a sample patient that has already been entered and we can see their demographics. We also have tabs for primary, secondary, and if applicable, tertiary insurance. To enter a new patient, simply click the New button. At minimum, we'll want to enter their basic demographics, last and first name, address, and you'll notice here as I enter the zip code, it's automatically going to populate the city and state. Lytec will build a database as you enter addresses. Let's also enter a telephone number, select the sex, and enter a birth date. We'll also want to, at very minimum, select a provider, and then we can save. You'll also notice the program will generate a chart automatically, but if you have your own system in place, you can enter a chart manually before saving. We also have fields for additional claim information. You can set diagnosis codes and hold codes, which are the pop-up messages, which we saw a moment ago. Contacts. We've got a tab where you can see past and future appointments for the patient. Patient images, we can scan and attach. And you can also make custom fields for your own purposes. Next, let's take a look at scheduling. This is the day view where we can see a provider or other resources schedule for the day. We also have other views such as the week view where you can see a provider or resources schedule for the entire week, and the multi-view where you can see multiple resources or providers schedule for the day. There is some customization that can be done on the various views, such as what columns display on the day view or what resources appear on the multi-view. We can also use templates to block off certain times for breaks, holidays, etc. To schedule an appointment, simply select a date from the calendar and double-click on an open time slot. At very minimum, we just need to look up a patient, select, and OK, and now they're scheduled. If we reopen that appointment, you'll see we can also enter a note, a reason code, or a specific procedure to be performed. You can also specify colors for appointments, although it's best to do that on either the reason code or the transaction code. Next, let's look at charge entry. We'll go to Billing, Charges and Payments. We'll select a patient. It'll start us off with a new transaction line here. You can enter or select a CPT code, enter any modifiers if applicable, select your diagnosis codes. I currently have my grid configured to show only 6, but we can have up to 12 here. And one other thing to note is Lytec can be set up with diagnoses that have both the ICD-9 and ICD-10 code, and it will select the appropriate code based on the date of service. Enter place of service and a charge amount, which can be set on the procedure code as well. We can add additional lines if necessary, or go ahead and save if we're done with our entry. If additional claim information is needed, we have a section under Billing and Bill Options in the various tabs here. But at very minimum, we've got enough to print or preview a claim. Lytec comes with many forms, but we'll first take a look at the with form version. This will print all the lines and boxes if you're printing to blank paper. Or if you have pre-printed forms, we have a version for that as well. This will print just the information. You can print claims one at a time like this, or make multiple entries and print them in batch later. Once the insurance has been billed and payment received, we can also print patient statements. I'll show you a sample here. We can use filters to include or exclude and narrow the statements down to exactly what we want. And here's the sample statement. We can see some of the previous charges, the amounts paid, the balance due, and how far past due it is. Lytec also has over 88 reports. I'll show you a few of them here. The transaction journal, and most of the reports will have various include or exclude options so you can narrow the results, as well as sorting options. The transaction journal will give us a list of all the procedures done for the specified date range, or for all time if left blank, as well as some totals at the end. Next, let's look at a summary report. These will give us an overview. This one is the yearly summary, so this will give us a breakdown month by month, showing charges, payments, adjustments, and totals. If we look at the monthly version, that'll actually give us a breakdown day by day. There are a few reports that'll let you track user activity in the program, for example, the Audit Trail. This will give us a list of what user did what, at what date and time. And we also have a login history report, which will show you just when the users log in and out. We can also do basic list reports. For example here, let's do a patient list. This will give us their chart, name and address, phone numbers, last visits, and when they first visited the office. Or another example would be a list of what referring physicians you have entered in the system. This will provide their contact information and MPI number. Or maybe you want to run a transaction code list and see what transaction codes you have entered. This will also show the default charge amount assigned. We also have a few reports that can give you a visual representation of productivity. We can do a pie or bar style report. So it'll give you what kind of percentages each one accounts for. And let's do another one here by provider. We'll do a bar chart. Lytec 2015 also has mobile functions, which will allow you to, using an iPad or Android mobile device, remotely view your schedules, enter charges, set up a super bill template, and new to 2015, there's added patient intake functionality. Here's a bit more on that.
Lytec 2015 has an exciting new set of features that will help your practice decrease the amount of paper in your office, increase customer satisfaction, and ultimately streamline the patient intake process for both you and your patients. Let's jump into our new patient intake mobile application and look at what you'll experience when you pick up the iPad or tablet with Android TM. First, you will see a schedule of patients who will come into the office today. Select a patient to view their basic demographic and financial information, as well as the reason for their visit. When the patient is ready to check in, select Patient Intake and hand them the tablet. The formatting and layout for patient intake is easy to follow and understand. It employs a workflow that your patients, new and existing, use on a daily basis with their mobile devices. Your patients will be prompted to complete and verify a variety of required information that they would normally provide on a paper intake form. Lytec's Patient Intake mobile application not only replaces intake forms, it allows you to upload unlimited practice-specific forms and waivers. Patients have the ability to electronically sign these materials, making the patient experience completely paperless. Your current patients will simply scroll through and verify or edit their already existing information on the tablet. When the patient is finished, they will press Submit and return the tablet to the front office staff. Information will flow directly into Lytec for your review. Once you validate the information and accept the changes, the patient's information is applied to the patient and case in Lytec. Say goodbye to countless hours of copying information from intake forms into Lytec. The new features in Lytec 2015 allow you to streamline the entire information gathering process. To view a full demo and receive more information on Lytec 2015, please contact your value-added reseller.
If you'd like any more information, please give us a call at 866-372-3616. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and have a great day.